One back just now at the 17th, so he's one over. Well, right on line, but rather short, but that gives Burns an outside chance of a 68 today. Burns hit a colossal drive down 17. Must have been 320 yards and then knocked a 7-iron on and made his birdie there.
Twelfth green. Watson underclubbed again. 3 times in a row he's been short of the green. Whereas Nicklaus has had 3 holeable putts. Hasn't made any of them, but it makes the game a lot easier. You can see how far Watson is off the putting surface. A very good line. Teaser left.
And that is the 13th and Crenshaw's 3rd shot. Beautiful little chip, but it just goes on and on and on. The wind is a little favoring there, and the slope, once you get over that little upslope, falls away from the players, so the ball just went on and on across the green. He's left himself about a 5-footer. It's Ben Crenshaw at 13.
The Turnberry light shimmering in the sun. Over to the 12th. Jack Nicklaus. Chance for a 3. What a putt at the right moment. Well, he's been threatening to do that for the last 3 or 4 holes and finally gets one in from about 7 or 8 yards. And Watson is faced with a nasty 4-footer, which he must hole. Even if he does, of course, he'll drop another stroke behind. That'll give Nicklaus a cushion of 2 strokes. Yes, well held. But one wonders who in the world can give Jack Nicklaus 2 up over 6 holes.
All right, baby, let me see it.
And we'll go ahead to the 17th and see Johnny Miller and Lee Trevino. There's Miller.
Cut! No, it'll kick right. Not that one.
Oh, nasty bounce, and it's oh, well, there you are, you see. Clean living, good bounces.
Hey? No, it's going that way. Not just through the grass,
Trevino. 4 over par. Miller, Trevino 1 over. Both started the day at level, 210.
Think so? I know, I was... Hey?
On the 18th green, George Burns, 1 over for the championship. And he's got 2 putts from here for a 69 today. unluckier than that. So near and yet so far. So George Burns going to have to settle for a 69, but what a super round.
And there's Nicklaus on the 13th tee. And if you're wondering what happened to Lee Trevino's second, well, he played a beauty. It skirted the bunkers on the right, and he's got a 25-foot of an eagle 3. So he's still entertaining the crowds. And these two bringing up the rear of the field. Look at the massive gallery following them. Great danger here is trying to be too greedy and go down the right-hand side. Cut off too much. Very heavy rough. Gave that some leather. And just waiting to see whether it carries everything. Sun is just in an awkward position. It's blazing down. Just very hard to follow them. Obviously on the line. They've driven from 10 o'clock on your screen now, and they come up to this green, which is slightly elevated. No bunkers round the putting surface, but a tricky shot, nevertheless, to get it near the pin. And we'll go and find Miller and Trevino. Miller out in 37. Drop strokes, though, at 11 and 14. 4 over now. Little chip. Lofted club. It was a very delicate one. Just didn't give it enough. Now all the field have passed the 9th, and only 3 players have broken par on the outward 9. Quite extraordinary. Well, Trevino's putting from the back of the green. He's just going past the hole. Have a look the other way. Trevino started at level par, dropped strokes on the first 2 holes. Birdied 6 and 7, dropped a stroke at the 9th. He's chattering away to himself there, trying to get himself in the right frame of mind to pop this one in. So fine 4, but so near an eagle 3. A Miller for a 4. Been having a few putting problems of late. Well, they were all going in a year or so ago. Defending champion, of course, Johnny Miller. Just gets a par, remains 4 over, so 4 for a 74. And a total of 284. Which, if you break down, is sort of 471s, or the equivalent of, which is pretty good stuff, but not good enough.
Now this is the 18th to the right side of the 18th fairway in the light rough. Raymond Floyd about to hit his second shot. Floyd has birdied the 17th. 3 over for the championship. He's made 5 birdies today.
Nicklaus then, that's where his tee shot finished at the 13th. It's a short pitch. And a little bit short. 2-level green, but safely on. Now Watson. Great shot. Isn't that a lovely sight? The hills beyond, woods stretching away. We're very fortunate, we golfers, to play in such beautiful settings. And now the 18th, the final hole for Lee Trevino and Johnny Miller. Trevino 4 for 70.
I know you'd like it now, don't you? Huh? Look at you.
Yes.
Yeah, you like it now,
Galloping
don't you?
Now Miller, just watch the way his left foot jumps out of the way. Oh, there is, like vintage Eric Brown.
Yeah. That's on the green.
And that's the marvellous setting for the 18th hole here at Turnberry. On the 13th, and Nicklaus and Watson. Nicklaus putting up the slope. The slope will run for about 9 or 10 feet and then flattens out. Good effort. Nicklaus marks, and Watson lines up.
Now, real briefly, Tommy Horton putting for a birdie 3 at the 14th. A long one. So he's got that to save for.
Now, can Watson get a birdie 3? 13th hole. He can. He can, so just, well, there's one in it at the moment, but Jack still has to hold this 2-footer to remain in the lead.
Now, this is Raymond Floyd from the back edge of the 18th. This is his 3rd shot. This is for his 6th birdie of the day. but unfortunately he's dropped a few as well, and if he were to make it, he would shoot 71 and have a total of 282. This is for 71.
Nicklaus then for his par 4. So still one ahead.
And this is a tap-in 4 for Raymond Floyd. 283 for Raymond Floyd. 3 over par. Now, this is back to the 14th, where Ben Crenshaw, who is bunkered with his second, has got to make this long one for par 4. He doesn't, and since he's dropped those 2 shots at the 9th, which I think in his own mind ended any chance he might have had of winning, he dropped one at the 10th, the 12th, and now the 14th, and he's back to even par.
So Watson regains the honor and drives at the 14th. They're coming from way down the bottom there, slight dog leg, as you can see. Not a lot of rough, or certainly not thick. A pretty generous driving area. Yes, that's perfectly all right. Now, Nicklaus. Well, they can see how far Nicklaus has gone past Watson, at least 30 yards.
So Nicklaus keeps his 1-stroke lead over Tom Watson. Hubert Green is now in the clubhouse and in 3rd place, and Ben Crenshaw, who was level with him, has dropped back behind him, level with Trevino now.
This is Tommy Horton from behind the 15th.
Good shot, Tom. Great shot.
Tailwind, that ball will come and come and come. It's hard to stop it today because the wind's blowing directly from behind the tee. And you can't chance bouncing in front of the screen because, first of all, you might go in the bunker, and secondly, you might get those very unfortunate but very possible sideways bounces here, which you can do at the front of the 15th green. Now Ben Crenshaw, who is 4 over par for today's round. 25 years old. Having a disappointing afternoon here. This is Ben Crenshaw from behind the 15th, playing this par 3 hole. Crenshaw 4 over. And he's on the left side. So he's 4 over for today's round and level par for the championship.
Trevino gets a 4 and great round of applause. Round 70. 68, 70, 72, 70. 280. Now Miller, defending champion. This putt for a 73. So Miller finishes with a 74, around 69, 74, 67, 74. The two 74s put him well back of the field. And only 3 matches now left out on the course. Fourteenth, Tom Watson second.
Go. Go. Go.
What a marvelous stroke. Oh, absolutely superb. Nicklaus has hit a huge drive. This hole, 440 yards. And, well, he really can't see how close Watson's ball is, but he heard the enormous applause. And you can see him gathering up all his concentration. He's lying well, pretty straightforward shot. Well, a marvellous shot from Nicklaus. Henry Cotton, that was a good one to follow a brilliant shot of Watson's, wasn't it?
Yes, you've got to be good to follow that. And Jack's one of the few people that isn't going to quit, I'll tell you. He'll be in there fighting all the time.
So we go to the 16th, where we find Roger Maltby playing his second shot. Maltby had a disastrous backward 9 and is 8 over for the championship. Well, no wonder he looks disappointed.
Now at the 15th, where we a moment ago saw Tommy Horton's ball run toward the back part of the green here, and he's got himself a putt of about 30 feet for birdie 2. Horton 5 over par for the championship, 6 over on today's round. That's to the right a little bit. So that's a putt of about 2 feet for his par 3, or a little less than that, maybe about 18 inches. He's going to hole it. Tommy Horton, who unfortunately, after a brilliant 65 yesterday, has not been able to maintain that form today, and struggling to maintain his position as the leading British finisher. Now, Crenshaw, who's done very little right in the last 6 holes, during the space of which time he's dropped 5 shots, now finds himself a stroke behind 3rd place in a tie with Trevino, who's already in the clubhouse, and a stroke behind Hubert Green, who is also already in the clubhouse. So he needs 2 birdies. Good line. He has to settle for par 3.
So to the 14th green, Nicklaus and Watson. Watson considerably closer than Nicklaus, but two fine second shots. Nicklaus a stroke ahead. Short. Just not hard enough. You saw the ball turn there, right at the hole. Tricky putt. So Watson with a chance to draw level. Well, Henry Cotton, what do you think? I mean, obviously thoughts are on holding this, but this is a very crucial shot, isn't it?
Well, it's almost just for the championship. If he misses this, he's still got a little load to carry, isn't he? He knows that, and he's very brave. I think he's played magnificently to stand up to Nicklaus for 2 days like this. Of course, he did it in the Masters in America, as you know.
No. Well, they were both fooled by the slope. Nicklaus from this side, Watson from t'other. Well, this was the green yesterday where Jack Nicklaus missed that putt of about 30 inches. Well, that was right into the middle. And Nicklaus at 10 under. Well, if he can just hold par, which is 3-4-5-4, 270. And in for Watson. 2 fours. Still Nicklaus 1 ahead.
So it's time to have another check on the leaderboard in this incredible head-to-head situation. A repetition of yesterday's play, with Nicklaus now leading by just 1 stroke with 4 to play. And we have news of the attendance figures today. Nearly 18,000 people have come to Turnberry today, which makes a total for the 4 playing days and the 2 practice days of 86,000 people. And that is an Open Championship record for Scotland.
There's the now familiar 15th. And it's Watson with the honour. No, it's, who is it with the honour here now? Watson with the honour, that's right. And of course, if he can get a good blow in first, it's all, you know, very crucial. Some people like to be first, some people like to wait and see what the opponent does. It's all very well, Henry, isn't it, when you've got the honour and you stick a good one in, but when you put one in the bunker, it's not so good.
And this is Roger Maltby teeing up on the 500-yard 17th. He's had a tragic afternoon in his 9 over par.
No.
Watson, tee shot at 15. Well, it's not by the pin. Short, so short and a bit left. Rather lucky to get there, in fact, because he must have flirted with the bunker down the left-hand side. Now here's Jack Nicklaus. That looked a nice, easy swing, but where's it gone? Oh, he just tiptoed over that new bunker, but right on line, just half an ounce short. And Henry Cotton, do you think that there might be a little tightening up now as the holes are running out?
Well, Watson's been short quite a number of times, you know, and although he's saved himself, it's a little bit frightening to see him so short.
Now the 16th, looking from behind the green where Tommy Horton has pushed his tee shot way to the right onto the between the 7th fairway and the 16th, and is lying pretty well there. Actually, you're going to miss it on this hole, you might as well miss it way wide, because the rough can be a little bit difficult in between, although it's a narrow strip of rough. He's through. He's all right. He's on the back of the green. Crenshaw over on the same side, but he's in the rough, and so much depends there on how the ball is lying. It's not a very long shot, though, and I'm sure he'll... Ooh, that was a bad lie, the way that club came through. It got caught up, and he's in the berm. That's gone into the berm. You saw his club there just kind of catch itself in that heavy grass, and there's the look of it back there, and that's down in the berm. So Crenshaw is going to have to drop out, and with the pin set where it is, it's going to be a very difficult little wedge shot that he's going to have to execute in order to get close enough to the pin to make 5. We haven't seen a lot of balls in there.
To the 15th, the par 3, Nicklaus and Watson. Watson, you can see with the putter out from the light rough. He'll have a good long look at this one. Well, we've had 2 holes in 1 in this championship, and well, sadly neither have been seen on television, because we have one of our producers who has an interesting little wager that at 33 to 1 that a 1 will be shown on television. Well, we've had several this year, but unfortunately none have appeared on for you at home. But he also had a covering bet on a hat-trick at cricket, and Mr. Proctor of Gloucester obliged with a hat-trick not so long ago, so all is not too bleak. Isn't that a marvellous sight? Look at that huge tented village there, that all the exhibitors' tents and the private marquees, business firms, golf manufacturers, and the hotel sitting proudly on the hill. Now Watson. He'll do well to get down in 2. Would you believe that? Well, I've seen many things in my life, but fancy taking the putter from 12 feet off the green into the semi-rough, race it down the hill, leave the pin in, and he's holed it from all of 25 yards. I'm sure he would have been delighted, Henry, wouldn't he? Wouldn't you? Anyone would have been pleased to get down in 2 from there.
I think he's got a good fairy pulling for him right there.
Well, that was incredible. You can see the great smile on caddy Alfie Fowles' face there. Unbelievable stroke. Well, 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 well. So, that's given Jack something to think about, but, well, he's a great man. I'm sure he'll be equal to the occasion. But that's a bit of a body blow. I'm sure that really wasn't in his mind, although some players, I remember particularly Ken Bousfield, who was one of our best match players, he always had a philosophy that he always thought his opponent was going to hold everything, so that he was never too disappointed if they did. It's like always expecting your ball, if it breaks towards the bunker, to be in it rather than miss it. You're not too disappointed. Well, that was really a marvellous blow for Watson and a cruel one for Nicklaus. But he had a little bit of good fortune. You can see how close he is to that new bunker. He carried over the top only by a yard or so. Now he has this putt for a 2 to stay 1 ahead. And it's online. Oh, and he hasn't given it enough. That was really turning towards the hole. Real match play stuff, isn't it now? These two miles ahead of the field, having a personal battle. Yeah, so a 2 for Watson, a par 3 for Nicklaus. They're level with 3 to play. Let's have a look at that shot of Watson's again, because I'd barely finished saying he'll be delighted to get down in 2. And any normal human being would have been. And here she goes. Just watch this running right. Looks to be going, when the pin comes into view, much too hard. And then suddenly it just catches absolutely perfectly. Edge of the hole. Just traps the pin and the side of the hole and in for a 2. But it's not over yet. We've seen Ben Crenshaw down in the water at the 16th. And so if he can go in there, so can anyone else. There's the view down tree-lined, I should say spectator-lined fairway. Big bunker on the left, which they can fly pretty well over at will today. And the green beyond. And there's the wee burn that runs across the front and round the right-hand side of the screen. And believe me, when conditions are not as nice as today and you're playing a 2-iron or a 3-wood into this green, it really is terrifying. Watson's tee shot. There she comes. See how parched the fairways are. Four on the right, and they're all down there. But it shouldn't Shouldn't be lying too badly. All depends, of course. There's some tufts and where the spectators have walked, and maybe lying in a sandy sort of spot. And that's what they're faced with. Henry, that was a bit of a wild one.
Yes, he's got on the wrong side of the fairway for this second shot, you know, Peter.
Well, for getting for the pin, yes, the pin is in an awkward position, isn't it? It'd take a brave man to get to really go at that pin today. We saw one marvellous shot from Lee Trevino yesterday, but there have been very few people who've got their seconds nearer than 15 feet at this hole.
Now on the par 5 17th, Tommy Horton. Right down the middle in perfect position. Now Ben Crenshaw. Crenshaw dropped 2 shots at the last hole. And that's right down the middle. But Crenshaw is now 2 over par and a tie with Arnold Palmer.
And forward to the 18th tee with Maltby and Burrows. Maltby 9 over par and Burrows 8 over. Well, he's driven it down the left-hand side, and it's a question of whether it'll carry that trap. Oh, yes, that's a long one. Well, that's in perfect shape now for his second shot.
Now the 16th. Second shots. Nicklaus and Watts. Well, this has developed into a match play type of situation, and it's important who should play first. And whoever does play first, of course, it's crucial that they should get a good strike home. Something to shake up your opponent. Usually in medal play, particularly if your playing partner is 2 or 3 shots away from you, you know, you're not really concerned with what he does so much. And but this is a situation that is typically match play. Nicklaus with a very pushy tee shot has found a good lie. You see he's across on the other fairway, top of the fairway at the 7th. But he's playing the 16th. Lofted club. It's like an 8 or 9 iron. He's got to be up. All the trouble really at the front of the screen. Got into that.
Looks good. Looks good.
Has he gone too deep? Look at the backspin he put on that. That was a marvellous shot. A little bit left of the flag, but absolutely the perfect distance, and looks, you know, a solid 4, possible 3. Now it's up to Watson. Watson's got a good line into this flag, some green to work with. And he's put it to the back of the green, just rolls back. So, they're level, and they're about level distance from the hole.
This is Tommy Horton, the 17th, his second.
Kick right. Come on.
That's going to curl back down, I think, onto the green. There it goes, onto the green. Now Crenshaw, who drove it about 15 yards ahead of Horton, could use an eagle birdie finish. Get him back into third place where he started the day. That's perfect if it's just far enough. That's a beautiful shot. That's about 25 feet short of the hole. He'll have that putt for an eagle 3.
Who's to putt first? Well, they all look busy, but it might well be Nicklaus to putt first. Nicklaus out in 33 to Watson's 34. Nicklaus's figures home 4-3-3, which was a birdie, 4-4-3. Very commendable indeed. He's 6 under 4s, which is pretty good in itself. He's 3 under par. Par here 70, so 3 4s for 66 again. And there's the faithful Angelo, having scrubbed up the ball, trying to put a bit of magic fluence on it. So great stuff from Nicklaus, and equally wonderful golf from Watson. Dropped a stroke at the 9th, out in 34. Started home 4-3-4-3, which is a birdie, 4-2. That wonderful shot from off the green at the 15th. And they're level. And what a great feast they're giving us. I noticed Jack Nicklaus is having the flag held more often from shorter range than he used to. I don't know whether this is a sign of the eyesight going a bit, or whether he feels he can line it up better. But he's not all that far away, and you don't see flag held from this sort of range too often these days. Jack has been short a number of times. Just short. And as we've said so often, it's not the great shots that win, it's the little ones. And little one like this counts just as much as a majestic drive or a superb iron shot. And whoever will forget that marvellous 2-iron shot of Nicklaus's at the 17th hole last night to within 3 or 4 feet, and he missed the putt. He's missed about 4 or 5 of that length this week. And here he is, level with Tom Watson. And they're 9 strokes, would you believe it, in front of the next player. So whatever happens, unless Jack wins, certainly, he'll rue those short putts. Little fiddly ones that cost so much, don't they, Henry?
Yes, and there's a championship low-scoring record coming up by a big margin.
Yes, it certainly looks as if the old score is going to go. Now then, Watson for a 3. This to go into the lead. I must say they're keeping us on tender hooks, just 2 or 3 inches short.
On the 18th green, Roger Maltby. Maltby and Burroughs having a very sad afternoon. And that rather typifies their game today.
This is Tommy Horton at the 17th. Oh, that was for an eagle. Crenshaw has made a birdie 4.
So, only 2 holes to go, or will there be more? Fine shot. Watson, of course, is the player of the year so far in the United States tour. I saw him win the Bing Crosby tournament early in the year, and he's grown in stature and confidence ever since then. He's looked like winning almost everything he's played in. And now this man who, without doubt, the world's greatest golfer ever. Massive drive. The pin today at the 17th is back right. The green slopes from the 2 bunkers down the right-hand side. It's very easy in an effort to get near the pin to push your second out a little bit and get caught in those bunkers. And of course, if you're too safe, you can leave yourself a 30-yard putt from the other side of the green. So a fascinating duel between these two.
Now on the 18th tee, Tommy Horton and Ben Crenshaw. Horton made his birdie at the last hole, but we saw him left with about a 3.5-foot putt there. So Horton is 4 over for the championship. Crenshaw 1 over. There's the dog leg. 18th, Horton going with the wooden club. He's going to try and carry those bunkers. He blocked it out a little bit to the right, but no problem at all. Now Crenshaw could use a birdie here to get into a tie with Lee Trevino for 4th place. There's a beautiful drive. It's one of the longer ones we've seen, right down the fairway. Excellent position.
So the view from looking back down on the 17th green, there are 2 bunkers on the left-hand side. The right of the players come up, and the ground slopes from the bunkers to the flag. That's how they stand. You can see Nicklaus and Watson way ahead of Hubert Green, who's already finished 1 under. Green, who had that disastrous start to his round yesterday, but has made more friends here this week. Lee Trevino, nice to see him back again, played pretty steadily, missed a lot of putts, holed a few, even par. Score of 280 for 72 holes. George Burns, the mighty American, finished +1. Nice to see Arnold Palmer in the frame too. I'm sure he'll be delighted with his last 2 rounds. Tommy Horton, of course, has a chance to be our leading British player, or in fact will be, unless he does something disastrous at the last hole. Roger Maltby and Burrows, Gaylord Burrows, both took 80. Started the day at 1 under and both finished with 80, which is very sad for them indeed. And there they are. Watson to play first. That looks a very lofted club indeed. Might even be a 7 or 8 iron. Wind behind, ground hard, it's on its way. And, watch this come off the bank at the back. It could roll back. Will it? It's trying hard. That's good applause. But Nicklaus will know from the gallery that it's not absolutely stone dead. There's no hooping and hollering. But that's a good shot. Well, it's more than a good shot, isn't it? It's a marvellous stroke. Henry, that was a good shot, wasn't it?
Yes, that's absolutely unbelievably good.
Now Jack Nicklaus. Pushed him up, got the ground a little bit heavy.
This is the 18th, Tommy Horton's second shot from the right-hand light rough. Beautiful shot. It's going to go through, though. Just down the back edge there. Now, back up the fairway where we see Ben Crenshaw hit an immense drive right into the middle. Ben Crenshaw an hour or so ago was 5 under par, and he's now 1 over. Now this is a very short iron club here for Crenshaw. Fine shot. 25 feet right of the hole.
So the 17th, the massed crowds coming up this 17th hole with Nicklaus and Watson and another 10,000 waiting down the 18th. And Nicklaus just underclubbed or hit the ground a little bit heavily and is short and right of the green with a very awkward little chip shot indeed. And 2 chances here for Watson. His own chance to hole it, certainly get a 4, and the possibility that Nicklaus might take more than 2. But I said something like that, didn't I, when Watson was off the green at the 15th, so be prepared for Jack to hole this one, maybe. He's holed longer ones. Now he's just looking at the contours there of the ground to see whether or not or where he can pitch the ball. This is a real nerve tester, Henry, isn't it? He's short there. It could be in a sort of sandy lie. Difficult shot.
It looks to me as though he's only got 1 shot. It has to be 1 perfect strike. I don't think there's much hope if he doesn't hit it absolutely 100%. He's got no margin, in my opinion, from here.
Well, what tension. You can feel it sizzling in the air like electricity. As if he's going to try and throw this one fairly well up to the flag. And then, in fact, he fooled us all. Took a lot of club and bunted it along the ground. Wonderful touch. Well, he took a very lofted club and then just bunted it along. Pinched it along. Very good shot.
Now, from back at the 18th green, Tommy Horton hitting his third shot. Oh, that wasn't a good one there. That's too bad. He's going to, it looks like, drop another one here unless he can hold that very long putt. He has that putt for 284.
Back to Watson. Good effort. So now they both played three. What a horrid length to have to hole. Mind you, it's nice to be in that position, I suppose, on the 71st hole with a putt like this to stay level. Well, he's missed a few of these. It was a good strike too, just misread it. Hit it straight at the left side, and it didn't turn. I suppose if Nicklaus does have a chink in his armour, it's just that, but it must be about half a dozen he's had and missed this week. But it's still not over yet. Marvellous drive, heavy 6 or 7 iron shot for his second, 7 or 8 iron shot, and he takes 5. Watson, this to go into the lead. He's in the lead.
And he's obviously disturbed by the giant crowd pouring off the 17th and the reaction perhaps to the scores being put onto the scoreboard adjoining the 18th. This is for 284, 4 over par for the championship. So Horton finishes 284 and Crenshaw finishes 281. Giant crowd basking in the sunshine of one of the most heart-throbbing, breathtaking finishes in Open Championship history.
Oh, the crowd's now all buzzing with excitement. The scores have gone up on the giant scoreboard at the 18th green. They all know now that Watson is one ahead. It's his honour, and he's out with the 1 or 2 iron. So straight down the middle if it doesn't get a nasty kick. And no, it sails straight past the edge of the bunker. Beautiful shot. Now, I was wondering what Jack Nicklaus would do. He's been taking an iron every time, and out comes Big Bertha, and he's going for the mighty carry right across the whole thing. Do you remember when he took his sweater off at St Andrews and smashed one over the green there? Well, he's not taking his sweater off yet, but he's obviously going to powder this one with every ounce in his body over those bunkers and try and get it down as near to the green as he can. All or nothing. And he's chopped it. He's chopped it away down the right-hand side. He's disgusted with it. He turns away, and it's careering into the rough. I don't think it will reach the bushes, but he was going for a mighty one, and the nerve just went at the end. And he's very close to the gorse. Oh, now it may be right along the edge of the bushes. He may be able to stay. If that's the ball there, he can stand and get a swing at it. If he was Bob Charles, he wouldn't be able to. He'd be standing on the wrong side. But we'll just have to wait and see. We're too far away to get a really good look at this. And that second shot of Jack's at the 17th was very reminiscent, certainly to me, of the 7-iron shot that David Thomas played in the late 50s when he lost his opportunity of winning the Open Championship at Royal Lytham St Anne's, that Peter Thompson in fact won. Well, have a look at that drive of Jack's, because he'd made up his mind that he was going to give this a mighty swish, and he just didn't release it. He came across it and up there. You can see he hit it with his belly, and it's going high and to the right. Came up and off it, and it's down there in the bushes. Well, of course, Tom Watson has already won the Masters Championship this year, and if he should win this one, and he's certainly a red-hot favourite at this moment in time, he's still got the US PGA Championships coming up, which we'll be showing you in August, played at the Pebble Beach Club in California, Northern California, where they haven't had any rain for about 14 or 15 months, so conditions there will be very much like they are here, certainly underfoot, although I'm told the greens are in pretty good order. But he really is challenging for the sort of mini slam, Watson. Here he goes, pacing off, finding out what he's got to do. And just look at that lot. And all of them up there and round there. Henry, it's a great moment, not for Jack particularly at this moment, because he must feel that he's let things slip away, but it's a great scene and a great moment, isn't it, for any player?
Well, the crowd here has had real value for money today, and when the players walk down the last 150 yards, it's like walking into Wembley Stadium with those huge crowds there.
Well, now, it all depends. Jack may have been lucky, and he may be able to get a swing at this and hoik it round. You can see in the shadows there, just along the edge of the bushes. And that's a very lucky blow for Nicklaus, because it really was headed into the bushes. And he's got some sort of shot. No, it's Watson who played conservatively with an iron from the tee, his second shot first. That was the swing of a confident man, wasn't it? It looked beautiful. Elementary, my dear Watson. Well, that's it. Tom Watson. Well, I don't think even Jack Nicklaus can hold his second shot there, so that's another championship win for Watson. He's just trying to keep the crowds calm. The crowds have been so marvellously behaved and so well marshalled by Charlie Jack, David Logan and all their team. Well, Jack's going to have a moment to think about this. He's got to pull out the shot of his lifetime here, because Watson is, well, almost a gimme. Well then, can Nicklaus get a clean backswing? Looks as if he can, and it looks as if he's got a straight shot to the flag.
Sorry.
And he's got it on the green, right-hand corner, and the crowd traditionally running across the 18th fairway. Jack's on the green there, but look where Watson's ball is, and he's a stroke ahead. Marvellous shot. Henry Cotton was just saying that he didn't think Jack was wise to take a driver from the tee there. Henry, you don't think he should have gone for that?
I think the play almost was to have played short of Watson and then greened it first.
Well, that was the old Walter Hagen adage, wasn't it? You know, sometimes lay up and get your blow in first. There's the crowd. Now the players have to battle through there. And sure, it won't be a battle that Tom Watson minds very much. And Watson has a putt for a 3, which would put him at a total of 260. There's Alfie Files. Now, has he hurt his wrist? What's happening? He got banged with something? Alfie, of course, some of these caddies are sort of master golfers and champions as well. I think Alfie caddied for Flair when he won a couple of championships. He's caddied for this fellow in 2 championships. Great rivalry between them, these caddies, as to who is the champion of them all. Look at the crowd there. Isn't this a marvellous moment? And what tremendous pleasure these two have given, in particular over the last 2 rounds. I don't think I've ever seen better golf. Certainly not for excitement, since last year's World Matchplay Championship between Hale Irwin and David Graham was exciting enough. Nicklaus must be feeling sick, because he must be, and yet still courteous and pleasant. Fancy the great man missing the green at the 17th, then missing a short putt, giving Watson the opening, and then Watson grabbing it at the 18th with that majestic second shot. But we've still got a few minutes to go yet, and who knows, Jack may hold this. The amazing thing about golf crowds is that I suppose there must be 18, 20, 22 or 3,000 people around this green now, that at the critical moment everything is absolutely still and quiet. he must hole and Watson must miss if there's to be a tie. Can't be, can it? What about that then? Well, I tell you what, if there are any knighthoods flying about or honorary degrees, well, those fellows must be due for one. I've never seen anything like that in my life. We were just thinking now, won't it be nice to have 2 putts from about 3 feet for the Open Championship, and suddenly young Master Watson has to pull himself together and pop his in to be champion. What a putt, what a putt. And it was the same man that missed that little tiddler on the last. This for the championship. Yes, well. It was absolute drama to the end. I don't think I've seen anything better than that in my life, and neither of you. Absolutely wonderful. Congratulations from Jack Nicklaus. The crowd rising to their feet. Marvellous. Marvellous game, and a worthy champion and a more than worthy runner-up. 12 under par for Watson. Breaks the previous record by 8 strokes. Wonderful crowd, superb weather, a truly remarkable championship, and a great winner. So, the prize presentations will take place soon. That's how they finished. Watson destroying the old record. Nicklaus just 1 behind, and what a finish. Hubert Green 10 strokes behind Nicklaus, and then Trevino, Burns, Crenshaw and Arnold Palmer.